and welcome. Today you're in the kitchen with me and we're going to make my barbecue sauce. This is so simple. You don't have to have a garden to make it. You can get it relatively frugal if you really watch your sales, and it can produce enough of barbecue sauce to last you a long time. For $3.99 I got this number 10 can of some ketchup. We're going to take ketchup, some different kinds of mustard that we had in the refrigerator, some molasses, some garlic powder, some lemon juice, some brown sugar, and some onion powder, and we are going to transform all of this into a beautiful barbecue sauce that gets high reviews here from my family. We're going to also can it. This is a water bath canning recipe, so you don't have to have expensive equipment to can it. So let's get started and I'll show you how we put this all together. We're going to take all of this ketchup and we're going to put it into our kettle. Now what I am doing is I'm quadrupling my recipe. The recipe I'm going to give you is for a smaller amount. You can go to Walmart, you can go to most grocery stores. They have a small bulk section where you can actually get the big number 10 cans. So we're going to go turn our little cooktop on. Alright, I had to switch out the kettle because the induction stove top wouldn't work on the other kettle. I'm not sure why. So, we have all the ketchup in here. Now we're going to start adding our ingredients. We are going to add 4 cups of molasses because I'm quadrupling this. Now this is going to take a while, so as slow as molasses. So we're going to start with something else while I get the 4 cups out of here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 4 cups of brown sugar. Now this is all to matter taste. I did this video last year and some people thought it was a little too sweet, so they cut back to brown sugar. It's basically however you would like to have it. Then we're going to have 4 cups of molasses, which I'm working here to try to get all the molasses out of this bottle. And then we're going to go with 2 cups of mustard. This is prepared mustard. So we have 2 cups of mustard. And then we're going to stir all this on low heat until it's hot and combine it, and then we're going to can it. And I'll tell you, this is a really good recipe. I've made it for many, many years now. Also, I have a little bit of this kind of mustard. I'm adding it to it because I need to get it used up. Ground mustard. It's just going to give us a little of a horseradish taste. Get all the mustard out of there. The next ingredient is a half a cup of lemon juice. A half a cup of lemon juice. And then we're going to have 16 teaspoons of onion powder. Now, if some of you guys could figure out what 16 teaspoons makes, but I'm just going to go with 16 teaspoons. 16 teaspoons of garlic powder. Like I'm telling you, this is a larger recipe than the one I'm going to give you at the end of this video. 8 teaspoons of salt and 8 teaspoons of pepper. So we're going to go with 8 teaspoons of salt and 8 of pepper. And this molasses is like molasses. It's taken forever. So I'll get back to when I have the 4 cups of molasses. I'm going to add our 4 cups of molasses. And this took me a little time to get all of this out of their little bottles. Now I had previously done a video, one of my very first videos, and I was using a capping machine to cap my own molasses. Now, I will share with you that video because it was a very interesting video. of how I got an antique capping machine and is able to cap a whole bulk amount of molasses to preserve it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stir this until it's all combined, and then I'm going to give it a taste test and see if it needs anything else. I'm telling you, this barbecue sauce is amazing. Barbecue sauce has such a dark color to it because most barbecue sauces have molasses in it. Molasses is also very high in iron. Molasses is a good for you. It's also a sweetener, but it's also very good for you. Now we're starting to look like barbecue sauce. Alright, when it's finished, we'll start jarring it up. So now all we do is we pour it into our jars that are washed and cleaned. So we're just going to fill it right to the neckline. This barbecue sauce is good for marinating as well. This is one of my most favorite things I like to can, because nothing beats homemade barbecue sauce without all of those preservatives in it. My ketchup happened to be organic ketchup, which is a plus as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill all these jars and we'll see how many it made. The rims have been cleaned off and we're just going to go ahead and put the lids on. Since I quadrupled this recipe, it gave me 10 pints. The recipe at the end of this video will give you only 5 pints. I strongly suggest that you quadruple it as well because it's an amazing barbecue sauce and I know you will enjoy it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put our pint jars in. Now I'm putting it in with the water being lukewarm, and we're going to keep them in until the water boils. Once the water boils, then we count 20 minutes. So here we have our 10 pints, and we're just going to add a little more water till it covers about 2-3 inches above the top. I like having this all-electric water canner because you can can anywhere as long as you have electric. Alrighty, that should be about right. There we go. Now what we do is we're going to wait till the water boils, and when it starts boiling we're going to count 20 minutes, and then we take it out of the canner and this project will be complete. Fanny's Diary. We're on February the 12th, 1943. Today Fanny writes, I helped to chop and strip tobacco. Just to show you that life is real and some videos are very hard to make and you have to retake it over and over, take a look at a little bit of this blooper on today's video. We are going to add, gosh, this thing is ridiculous. Why is it doing this? Man, how do you open this thing? Molasses.
Oh, you need to get your bottle opener. Do you have a bottle opener?
No. Oh yeah, there, okay.
What'd you use?
My bottle opener. Okay, so we got 4 cups of molasses because I'm quadrupling this. Now this is going to take a while, so it's slow as molasses. So we're going to start with something else while I get the 4 cups out of here. Okay, we're going to have to just like cut cut all of that off because none of that's working? Sometimes you just have to laugh. That's all about being a YouTuber. Take care, everyone. See you guys tomorrow.